Number 1. Dwayne Cheney, a 25-year-old man from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was accused of murder after fatally shooting Michael Prescott in 2015 following an altercation over a woman. Cheney went on trial for murder in 2015, and during the proceedings, he was allowed to walk freely inside the courthouse while wearing a GPS ankle monitor. During a break in the trial, CCTV cameras showed Cheney having a conversation with his girlfriend, Zuri London. After their discussion, they appeared to part ways, but moments later, Cheney was seen speaking with his father, Frank Kiles. The two exited the hallway together, and shortly afterward, London reappeared and seemed to speak to someone on the phone. Suddenly, London ran, revealing that Cheney and his father had already left the courthouse and were attempting to escape. They walked casually down the street, joined by London. A white van soon pulled up, and all three entered the vehicle. The driver of the van was identified as Cheney's mother, Flor Genia. Inside the van, Cheney removed his GPS tracker and discarded it out of the car window in an attempt to cover his tracks. The escape seemed successful at first, but it was short-lived. Back in court, Cheney's trial continued in his absence. 4 days later, U.S. Marshals found Cheney hiding in a trash can not far from the courthouse. He was arrested and slapped with an additional charge of bail jumping. Cheney was ultimately convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. His family members who had been involved in the escape attempt were charged with felony bail jumping as parties to the crime and obstructing an officer. Number 2. Leonid Greer, an 18-year-old from Moscow, was on trial for the murder of his sister. He was accused of killing her at their apartment and was found with her body, which was covered in demonic symbols painted with blood. Greer claimed that his sister had ordered him to kill her. During questioning, he was seen smiling and showing no remorse for his actions, stating that he had to kill his sister to rid himself of self-doubt. Police also discovered drugs in his apartment, which may have been a contributing factor to his actions, though Greer insisted he was aware of what he was doing at the time of the murder. During the trial, Greer was placed in a glass cage to prevent his escape, but he had other plans. His first attempt to escape was thwarted when he managed to squeeze through the roof of the cage and tried to escape through the false ceiling of the courtroom. Officers were caught off guard as Greer attempted to flee. One officer succeeded in grabbing him by the pants, but it took several officers and a threat of a taser to force Greer to surrender.
Быстро, блядь! Долбоёб, блядь! Быстро слезь!
Одевайте ему нахер наручники.
Наручники, сейчас.
Eventually, Greer crawled back into his glass cell and was ordered to pull his pants back up. He was handcuffed to prevent any further attempts at escape.
Камеру выключайте.
After his escape attempt, a judge sentenced Greer to compulsory psychiatric treatment, with evaluations every 6 months. Number 3. Eddie Villalobos, a 28-year-old man from Hillsboro, Oregon, was facing trial for second-degree murder after allegedly stabbing a man to death in 2021. During his trial, 2 deputies escorted him into the courtroom where his shackles were removed as required by Oregon law to prevent prejudice in front of the jury. However, just seconds after his restraints were removed, Lobos broke the rules. He quickly hopped over a chair and bolted toward the exit. He ran through the hallway as deputies pursued him, making his way down the stairs and exiting through the lobby. Lobos managed to escape the building and fled into the streets. A 2-hour manhunt ensued, with authorities searching for him across the area. A tip eventually led police to an apartment complex where they received a report of someone attempting to break into an apartment next door. When police arrived, they found Lobos hiding under a blanket inside a closet. He was arrested without further incident and charged with first-degree burglary and second-degree escape in addition to his original murder charge. A few months later, Lobos was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Number 4. Derek Wright, facing speeding charges in a Louisville, Kentucky courtroom, caused a scene when he attempted to leave the courtroom. While the judge was reviewing his paperwork, Wright tried to walk away, believing he had no reason to be detained. A deputy immediately stopped him, questioning, "Where are you going?"
Whoa, where are you going?
No, not to rush. No,
No.
have a seat.
So I can't go to the restaurant? Okay. Well, can I make a copy of my mom? In a minute.
It was then discovered that in addition to his speeding charge, Wright had an active warrant for domestic violence.
The case got dismissed.
We're verifying it.
I went to court for that Tuesday. It got dismissed.
Sir,
Okay, just a second.
I need you to calm down.
We always verify.
Yeah, but
Wright insisted there was some kind of mistake, stating that his case had been dismissed previously. However, after verifying the details, it was confirmed that the warrant was indeed active, and he was about to be arrested. As he was being escorted to jail, Wright attempted to flee the courtroom. A deputy quickly caught him, but Wright continued to struggle.
Thank you.
2 more deputies joined the effort to subdue him, and a taser was eventually deployed to bring the situation under control. Wright was then escorted out of the courtroom.
So a deputy deploys his taser.
As he was being removed, Wright yelled that he needed to call his mother and expressed frustration over not being informed properly about his arrest.
I'm serious though. Then y'all started beating me up and crazy. I was just sitting there. Was already called for it up and beat me up. Yes, I need to call my mama. Then nobody tell me I had a warrant until I came.
Following the incident, Wright was slapped with additional charges, including third-degree assault, resisting arrest, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct, on top of his original speeding charge.